The milonga smelled like shoe leather and old wood, and the particular kind of nerves that only performers know. Not fear exactly, but the body rehearsing fear so the mind can stay calm. Sophia had laid out the evening with precision. 8 couples, 2 sets, Rodrigo leading the demonstration at 10. She had the program folded in the breast pocket of her jacket. She had a backup playlist. She did not have a backup for Rodrigo, because Rodrigo did not require a backup. Rodrigo had never, in 4 years, been anything other than punctual. Rodrigo, apparently, had sprained his ankle stepping off a curb on Avenida Corrientes. She got the message at 9:30 and stood very still in the dressing corridor, reading it twice, the way she read everything, not because she had not understood it the first time, but because she believed that stillness was its own kind of answer. Then she walked back into the main hall and nearly collided with the musician who had set up in the corner without asking her.
Watch it.
He said, catching her elbow before the collision became worse. He was taller than she had registered when he arrived. Dark jacket, an old guitar case propped against the wall, the kind of easy stance that announced he had never once in his life arrived anywhere and felt out of place. She stepped back. "You're early," Sophia said.
I'm on time. You're distracted.
His name was Thomas. He had come recommended by the festival committee. Visiting musician, played bandoneon and guitar, had performed in 3 cities in the last 6 weeks and would be in 2 more before the end of the month. The committee had described him as extraordinary. Sophia had found that description insufficient, since extraordinary people were frequently unreliable in ways that ordinary people were not. "Rodrigo is out. Ankle." She said it flatly, watching his face for the reaction most men gave, which was a kind of sympathetic distance, a stepping back from the problem. Thomas did not step back. He tilted his head.
Do you have someone else?
No.
Can you demonstrate alone?
Tango requires 2 people. That is somewhat fundamental.
He almost smiled. She resented that almost.
I dance.
He said,
You play.
I do both. My teacher in Montevideo would tell you I was better at the dancing, but she was biased.
Sophia looked at him for a long moment, at the easy way he held himself, the slight forward lean that was either confidence or curiosity, the hands that had clearly spent more time on strings than on partner holds. She looked at the half-empty hall, at the stage, at the clock above the bar reading 9:34. She had 26 minutes.
The floor.
She said.
Now, show me what you have.
The practice was not gentle. Sophia corrected his frame in the first 30 seconds, then his weight transfer, then the angle of his left arm. She was not unkind about it. She was exact, which was a different thing entirely. Thomas accepted each correction without argument, adjusted, and kept going, and that alone told her more than the corrections had. He could follow instruction, and underneath the instruction, he could actually dance. They moved through the basic 8, then a simple sequence with a leg wrap she threw in without warning, and he caught it, not perfectly, but correctly, which was what mattered. The hall was empty enough that their footsteps rang against the polished floor. Someone at the bar turned to watch. Sophia did not look at the bar. What she noticed instead, with the particular attention she gave to everything she did not want to notice, was that Thomas danced the way he had walked into the room, as if the floor already belonged to him, not by arrogance but by some native ease she found philosophically irritating. Improvisation. It was always improvisation with people like him, beautiful and undisciplined and inevitably, eventually, gone. They stopped in the center of the floor. He was breathing slightly harder than she was.
You're holding back.
He said,
I'm leading you through a structure.
You're leading me through a structure the way someone holds a door open without walking through it themselves.
She met his eyes.
I don't improvise.
I know.
He said it without judgment.
The music is only honest when I'm dancing with someone who frightens me. I've been frightened since I walked in.
The words landed somewhere she had not expected to feel anything. She let herself hear them, really hear them, for exactly 3 seconds. Then she straightened her spine.
We go on in 20 minutes.
She said.
That is the priority.
Agreed.
He said, and held out his hand. The demonstration went cleanly. Thomas played the opening set and danced the demonstration and managed to do both inside the same hour, which Sophia acknowledged to herself was technically impressive without acknowledging it to him. The couples moved through their sequences, the floor filled. The bar sold out of Malbec before 11. By midnight, the hall had the particular amber warmth of a place doing exactly what it was built for. Sophia stood at the edge of the floor and felt, against her own better judgment, something loosening in her chest. When the hall began to empty, Thomas found her near the coat rack. He was carrying his jacket over one arm, his hair slightly damp from the exertion, and he did not say anything immediately. He just stood next to her and watched the last couple finish their dance, and the comfortable silence of it was the most annoying thing he had done all evening.
Coffee?
He said finally. The cafe on the corner was the kind that had been open since before either of them was born, all dark wood and old photographs and a coffee machine that sounded like a minor argument. The streets outside were wet from a shower that had passed while they were inside, cobblestones reflecting the amber of the street lamps, a cat crossing somewhere without hurry. Buenos Aires at 2 a.m. had a specific quality of almost quiet, like a breath held before speech. Sophia wrapped both hands around her cup. Tomas's shoes sat drying on the chair beside him, damp from the earlier splash through a puddle, and the small domestic wrongness of it, shoes on a cafe chair, his socked feet, this unrehearsed angle of him, made him harder to hold at distance.
Where after this?
She asked, because it was the safe question, the one that established the geography of his leaving.
Mendoza, then.
He stopped.
Then?
I was going to say Lima, but I've said that sentence in 6 cities, and it always sounds like a full stop, and right now it sounds like...
He turned his coffee cup a quarter turn. He did not finish the sentence. Sophia looked at him, at the line of his jaw, at the way he had danced with her, that half-frightened ease, the way he had accepted every correction and then danced past it into something she could not quite contain in a structure. She had built her life out of structures. They were good structures. They had kept her safe and precise and unimpeachable. They had also kept her in the same room with herself for a very long time.
The rule against improvisation,
She said.
it isn't technical.
I know.
He said quietly.
I don't like being caught unprepared.
I know that too.
Outside, the first pale strip of light had appeared at the end of the street. Not sunrise yet, but the city's acknowledgement that sunrise was coming. A delivery truck rumbled distantly. The cat had disappeared. The cobblestones were turning from amber to grey, to the specific colour that has no name except early. Thomas reached across the table and covered her hand with his. No announcement, no performance, just the warm press of his palm, the calluses from the strings against her knuckles. Sophia did not move her hand away. She had a policy. She was aware that she had a policy and that the policy was currently somewhat theoretical.
The second dance.
He said.
Not for an audience.
She looked at him for a long time. The coffee between them had gone cool. His shoes were still on the chair. The light outside was doing something slow and inevitable to the night. She nodded once. It was, for Sophia, the most she had ever given freely, and both of them understood exactly what it meant. Not Lima yet, not the same room with herself, not the full stop she had been practicing. Something beginning instead, imperfect and unscripted, the way the best things always were. Dawn came in off the Rio de la Plata and laid itself flat across the cobblestones, and the city turned gold, and somewhere down the block a bakery opened its door, and the smell of bread came out to meet the morning.